All right, welcome to team training, guys. So tonight, Naomi and I, we want to jump on and answer some questions that you guys have, focus on some challenges that you guys are having, and giving our best advice, what we've learned. And we would really love for you guys to be bold, be brave. And if someone's sharing like a challenge that they have, like I have some that Team Coconuts have written. I'm sure Naomi has some as well. Or if you can write some in the chat. Like, what are you finding challenging you? I don't want to use the S word. What are you finding that you're struggling with right now? Pop it in the chat. And then if you're listening to the question and you're like, you know what, I've experienced that, and this is what I've helped. This is what's helped me get through it. Can you please pop in the chat or put your hand up? And we would love to get you on Zoom, give you that moment of courage to get out of the comfort zone and just share like what you found's worked for you or has helped you, because it just might be the exact thing that the person who's struggling with something needs to hear. So I'm going to start, I think it'll be really good. I'm going to start with one that Amber put in Team Coconuts, and I'll give my 2 cents and then I'll hand it over to Naomi to share. And then at any point, because it's going to be on a big screen, I can only see the chat. Put in the chat if you would like to share, and we'll take you off mute as well. So the first one is, Amber wrote down, to keep momentum on the bad days, and as a leader of a team to make sure that I am ticking off the right things every day. So what's a DMO as a leader? So the way I interpret this, and I totally get it, because you might realize that once you start to build team, you're like, I'm already doing my daily activities, plus I have team to look after now. And that's just part of growing a business. As you bring in more, volume, you bring in more potential into your business, you do have to step it up a notch and make sure that you have a flow happening, working on your system of how you get stuff done. So I look at that as to keep momentum. As we know, I know Naomi is going to say this too, is coming back to why you started this. Do you have that vision of, if you want to be an NMD, you want to have a big business, right? And then it's finally things are starting to grow. You have to step into that place of, well, I wanted this anyway, so I know I'm just going to have to work that little bit harder. My momentum always comes from thinking about long-term vision. What do I want to achieve in the next 12 months? I get so caught up in short-term vision, like month-to-month basis, and it doesn't serve me. Like, it's great to keep ticking off the little things, but to keep momentum, I think, okay, long-term, I need to picture long-term. What things can I put in place? If that makes sense. Am I ticking off the right things every day? And the DMO is the leader. Like, I always check in with our team who are working. When you start to grow your business and you start to get hundreds of team members, you're not expected to message every single one of them, because we know that there's some people in the team who just are happy where they're at. And, we all know that as team members as well, if we want help, we can't expect our upline to just reach out. We can't just sit there and wait, my upline hasn't messaged me today, so I don't know what to do. We have to take responsibility, because we're independent franchisees. If we want help, we reach up to our leader. So that's just kind of how I've interpreted that. Naomi, is there anything you would love to add? I'll unmute you, babe.
Hey, babe. Probably some of the ones that I've written down from Team Pina Colada kind of tie into that a little bit, because, again, everyone's at different, sort of stages in their business. Some people have been in this business a matter of days or weeks, and other people have been in this business a matter of months or getting on to years now. So, there are different periods of growth that we go through, and therefore different sort of, responsibilities along the way. But I guess I just wanted to really bring it back to basics for everyone, regardless of where you're at in this, and just kind of remind everyone, obviously tonight's call is mainly, talking about struggles, challenges, objections, things like that. But just to bring it back to basics and remember that every single one of us have the same product. We all have the same product. It doesn't matter when we started, right? Every single one of us has the same business opportunity to offer to someone. And every single one of us have the same access to resources, training, support. We all use the same stuff, right? So basically what we hold in our hands is the same whether we've been in this business for a day or whether we've been in this business for a year or 4 years or however long. And it's obviously, you know, we kind of hone in on our skill set and our mindset and, you know, the way that we deal with certain things along the way. You know, those are the things. It's actually ourselves that grow. It's not the product or the business opportunity or what we have to offer that changes. It's actually us that changes and evolves and grows through this process and through time. So I guess I just wanted to start off by saying that everyone has objections, everyone has struggles, and everyone has challenges, and that doesn't matter if you're a VF or an N&D. Okay, so Kim and I still go into conversations, and it doesn't, the person on the other end of our conversation, they don't care if we're a national marketing director or they don't care if we're a virtual franchisee. Like, they do not care who we are or where we are in the business, right? That does not mean anything to that potential customer. So, you know, their walls are up, their, you know, objections are there and their defense systems are there. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that it doesn't matter where you are in this business, we all have objections. And it's really just a matter of how we respond to those and, you know, building the belief muscle in ourselves to kind of deal with those. And it's not always about convincing the other person to say yes or getting them to come on board. It's not really about that. It's about our ability to respect the other person's answer and move on, and then how we portray ourselves in a way that's going to grow that potential's belief in what we're trying to, you know, show them, whether it's about the product or the business or both. So I just wanted to start by saying that, because we do all have the same product, the same business, the same everything in our hands, okay? And with like, I've written down a few of the questions. I can't remember who asked what now, but I've kind of grouped them into a couple of different things. And the first three that came up were really along the same lines, even though they kind of, like, I worded a bit differently. But it was about, you know, one was just about getting past objections. One was about moving people from a point of being interested to an actual yes. And one was letting go of pestering people to get back to me, which is basically about following up. And I kind of put those three into one group, because really it is about overcoming objections. It really is about moving someone from a place of either they've asked for information and they're not sure, or and you're continually following up and they're like not even getting back to you anymore. And you feel like that's you're just in that stagnant space of, okay, that this person's not even going to be my friend anymore because I've just messaged them 10,000 times and they haven't responded back to me. And it's really just about these, like, for me, it's always about being honest and stop beating around the bush. I mean, I put this stuff in the team page all the time, like, get to the point, you know, like, yes, you have to build a relationship. Yes, you have to, you know, nurture that relationship. But if we're talking about where we're at that point where you're following up, so someone's asked for information, or you know, like, people have been interested enough to ask for information and you want to move them to that point of you know, I'm not sure or no to a yes. It's really about, like, I just come out and say it. And I know that Kim has done training on this before, where if you've got someone that's not following up with you or like not responding to your follow-ups, you know, you can send something, and it's always about giving someone a way out as well, because really you just want a blunt yes or no answer here, right? So it's literally about prompting that answer out of them. And I usually say something along the lines of, hey, hun, you know, I'm not sure if my messages have been getting through. My internet's so bad at the moment, which is actually true for me because of where I live. I know that I've been sending you a few messages, but if I haven't been getting through, please let me know. I just really love to take you off my follow-up list. I don't want to pester you anymore, but I don't want you missing out on information that you might be interested in. Can you please get back to me? I'd love to hear back from you. Even ending with something like, it's completely okay if you've decided this isn't for you right now. Just let me know. You know, like, I end with that so often, and it's just sometimes giving people a gentle way out. It preserves the communication, it preserves the relationship and the friendship, because I don't know how many people that I've had that probably wanted to say no to me but didn't want to hurt my feelings, and therefore just didn't reply at all, which did hurt my feelings. By giving them a gentle way out, you actually preserve all of that. And then the next time that they come back to you, and by the next time, it could be 3 months later, it could be 6 months later. In some cases, it could be 18 months later. I've had a customer like that. But I preserved that relationship to the point where when they were ready then, it was literally a 5-second turnaround of they messaged me, sent their details, order through, because right then and there they were ready. So it's really about keeping the lines of communication open. And I'm all for getting that blunt yes or no answer out of someone. What is the point of having a non-answer from someone? You know, you're not getting an order out of them at all. There's no point. But they're also this kind of like, it kind of blocks up your mind, like blocks up your mentality and your mindset and your brain power, thinking, oh, that person could come through this month, or that person could be, you need a solid answer out of people. Okay. Don't be afraid to ask for it, but do it in a way that gives them an out. I am not one of those people that are like, you need to get a yes. Like, this is not about that, right? We're in the business of nurturing and building relationships. If people aren't ready yet, then they aren't ready yet. Respect that. It's completely okay. So that's probably what I'll start off with, babe. I don't know if you want to go back and forth. Have you got another one that you can throw in the mix or comments on that one?
I love that. Just mute yourself. I'll get you to mute yourself, babe. Who loved that? That's really cool. We got heaps of comments in the chat. I think this is really good because I know what Naomi's just shared, that it's the same answer for a lot of things that we are struggling with in this business, and that's why I want to build up on from it, and because it's reminded me on things that I learned, and this is something I talked about in my NMD speech, because you talk about your biggest lesson in this business, and I always bring it back down to this, right? And I haven't talked about this in a while, but it is not about you. It's not about you. It's about who you can help, whether that's a customer or whether that's people in your business. Because this is kind of running off, how Amber's question at the start was about being your best upline, which means looking after your team. And then Naomi's come through, and it's also like, looking after potential customers and the customers you do have. And I love this because you want to focus wherever you are. Usually we get frustrated. Once we have a struggle, we become frustrated, right? Because things aren't working the way we want them to work. It's human nature. Like, hell yes, I'd love to hit my goal right now and have every team member working and hitting their goals, and every potential customer I talk to say yes. But that means I'm making it all about me and what I want to achieve. And it does drive us. Like, we have to have goals for us to be motivated. But the secret is that the less you make it about yourself and you ticking off your boxes all for you, and the more you make it about you serving others, the faster you are going to feel successful. And I really love this. So I think, how can you serve them when you have, and this is it's applied to talking to people who potential customers or team, and it's not their time yet. How can you serve them? If you're reading the signs, they're not ready yet. By serving them is to leave them alone, right? And be okay with where they're at. And it's the same with your team that you have right now, or new team you bring on. How can you serve them? And finding out what they want. If they're happy moving at the pace they want, and you've talked through and helped them with objectives and whatnot, then you have to be okay with that. And it took me a lot to, when I realized it's not all about me, and I have to be okay with where everything's at right now. It brings you back into that space of calm. And I also remember, the universe does have your back. As long as you're going to work, the universe does have your back as well. And we hear this all the time. And the reason I don't like it is because it means I have to go work harder. And at the end of the day, if you want to go from A to B, B's got you at a different level, a different frequency. You've got to work harder to get there. Otherwise, you're just going to stay at A. And it means you've got to go increase your network, talk to more people. If you had, and I love this, if you had 10 conversations on the go and people are interested and whatnot, you're not even going to be focused on the person that you haven't heard from for the last 2 weeks, But if you're not increasing your communication, your conversations, and building relationships, you are going to be still stuck on that conversation in 2 weeks saying, and they're like not replying, and they were a maybe, and you're just like, can you reply to me? I'm going crazy. I just want to know. Like, does that make sense? Can you chuck it in the chat and let me know, because I can only see 4 of you on the top of the screen. So I love that. And yeah, so that was the points there. But I wanted to, just for time purposes, I loved Jade. Oh, thanks guys for the chat comments. Jade had a really good question. Scheduling and making time for everything. Okay, this is really cool because scheduling helps you make time for everything. You have to work out what is going to be the highest priority task. I know Naomi's going to give much more value on this because she is a mum as well, and that adds more into the mix. I do have the luxury of doing this business full time, but I did have to build it to that point. And at the time of building it, I had to prioritize what's actually going to build my business and add value to it. If there's things you know you need to do, like, and I've been like this the last month, I feel like I haven't had much time to actually build new relationships. I've been doing a lot of back end stuff. So when I moved to Canada, you know, we're still moving as a team. And those of you in Perth, you don't need me in Perth to build your business. Like, we're all independent, right? But I just wanted to have a lot of support online in place for when I go. And I felt like that wasn't a high paying activity and was driving me crazy. But what I had to realize is I have to get it done. If I have to stay up later, I have to stay up later. Short-term sacrifice sleep, like an extra hour a night. That's what I did. Don't get me wrong, it was freaking hard, but that's what I had to do. That's a sacrifice I had to make. So when it comes to scheduling and making time for everything, really ask it. Is it 3 Ds? Do, delegate, dump. So what do you need to do? Like, you have to be the one having the conversations. But what's so good is we have so many resources. We have the info groups. We have links with videos. Like, once you get the conversation and bring up Juice Plus, that's why we have videos there and resources there. So you don't have to be spending heaps of time explaining everything. That's the way you do it, perfect. But do you know what I mean? There's resources there. Delegate means what's a task you can get that needs to be done, but you can get someone else to do. And dump means, does it really need to happen? Or is there a more efficient way you can do it? Anyway, I'm going to hand straight over to Naomi because Naomi's like actually way better at scheduling than me. I think so anyway.
Oh, babe, seriously. Like, I am known as the chaos queen. So, but you know what I love about that is that I am the least pretentious person that, I don't try and pretend like I've got it all together. Like, any of you guys that know me and have had a conversation with me know that, like, I am just one of those busy mums and, shit runs wild all the time. But I love this business because you can do it anyway. You can do it in and around anything. Yes, there are benefits to being more organized and, running a tight schedule and all of that kind of thing. Yes, this business has actually made me be a little bit more on that side. But I still love the fact that, you can do this in and around whatever your day looks like, right? So I don't cater my business to my lifestyle. I cater my lifestyle, I got that around the wrong way, but I cater my business around what I'm already doing. I don't, say, I can't do that because I've got to do X, Y, Z today. I literally kind of do this in and around what I would already be doing. And I absolutely love that. And I'm not one of those people that's going to be like super duper organized, but I do have, like a set DMO that I try and stick to every day for my business. So there are certain things on my checklist that I make sure that I've done every single day, and that I've stepped foot, into my business every single day. I've shown up for my business every single day in some way, shape or form. And that's the consistency that pays off. And it doesn't take a lot of time. It can be a few minutes, you know what I mean? And I think that's where some people get so caught up sometimes where they go, oh, I've just got to, I haven't done this, or I've still got to do this, and so they don't do anything because it's just so big. And then one day turns into 2, 3, 4 days, turns into a week, turns into 2 weeks, and you haven't done anything in your business, and then it's just too hard to pick up the ball again. But it's like, if you can just do one thing, if you can't do your 2 or 3 things, or your to-do list, or the things that you'd love to do in your business every day, just do one thing still. Just keep your toe in the game. Okay, so it's just, that's the bit that just keeps the momentum rolling a little bit. But like, I think that another misconception is that people can get into, and I am totally guilty of this, and this is why I've thought to say it, but you can get really caught up in the whole thing of like, oh, once I'm SC or once I'm SSC, things will be easier because I'll know more, or once I'm like NMD, oh gosh, it'll be so easy then because I'll be earning this much, and I'll just, like, things will just be easier. But the whole thing is that regardless of where you are in this business, the stuff's still the same at every single level. It's still about connecting with people, building relationships, and getting them over that line. That, like, the actual actions, the high paying activities are the same all the way through. It does not change. And like I said before, the only thing that really changes is how we grow and how we can handle the objections, and how we can it's not even about like being able, knowing more about the product, or it's really nothing about that. It's literally just about how you respond to the things that are thrown your way. And that's really all that changes through this business. Like, this business is purely a personal development course disguised as a business, and you get paid along the way. That is literally what this is. So there was something that I was going to say. Oh, okay. So when we're coming back to objections, and this goes back to a few of the other questions that we mentioned before, one of the things that I always love you guys to go back to is when you said yes. Okay. So what did it take for you to say yes to the product? What was the conversation like between you and the person who's probably now your upline? What did that conversation look like? How many follow-ups? Then what was the process between becoming a customer into the business, like customer to franchisee? What did that conversation look like? Or was it at the same time? Like, go back. A lot of wine. Yeah, it was, because I'm Michelle's upline. That's how I get my team. I get them all drunk. All right. But no, I really urge you guys to, like, whenever you're having an objection, go back to what the conversation was like when you, like, that got you from skeptical to saying yes. Because the thing is, I think we have an expectation of, like, I've had this conversation and I know this product's so good and I've got all this belief in it, and I know this person needs it so much, but they're not saying yes. What's wrong with them? But you didn't say yes straight away. You may have, but not many people say yes straight away. So, it's really important to go back and have a look at your own process and not put ridiculous expectations on those that you're having a conversation with now. And just know that, everyone is looking for something probably a little bit different. And this kind of takes me into the next question that I can't remember who asked it on the team page, but it was getting people to see what's possible with the business. Okay, so how can we show what's possible with this business? So how can we grow other people's belief in this business before they're part of it? Now, my whole thing with this, really comes back to what information, what pearls of wisdom, what, little drops of information that you're putting out there. So really your lifestyle, like what you're portraying, that's painting the story of what's possible in this business. It's not about someone wanting business information and you just vomit all of the information on them. Like, it's $165 and you get a website and your virtual office and we're available in, this many countries worldwide and blah, 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 blah. That is not, what is going to get people to say yes. So, like, what gets people to say yes is what they've seen in you. What is the business story that they have seen in you? And this is something that I'm so, so passionate about, guys, because we have something so amazing in this business. And that's why I take my you know, what I'm putting out there. You know, for me, a lot of the time, like 90% of what I do is on social media. You guys see what I do on social media. I take that really seriously, because that is often my key to like showing people what's possible in this business. So I never just blurt anything out. I actually see that as, you know, this next thing that I say could be that final, you know, make the penny drop for someone. You know, what if this is the thing that's going to get them to see what's possible in this? You know, like I'm so passionate about that. And for you guys, it might be different, you know, but it's just, you know, the question is getting people to see what's possible in this business. The answer is you. You are what's possible, you know, that's going to show people what's possible in this business. You are the thing. You are the key. And it's just about what you're portraying, what you're showing. And so you guys have to let people know, you know, let people know what you're excited for. It's not always about, you know, earning X number of thousands of dollars a month. Like, that's not really what people are going to buy into. But it's about what those, you know, what the freedom and the opportunity and, you know, the friendships, the community, the connection, you know, like all the things, you know, like you know, for me, a lot of the thing is now is the fact that we've brought, you know, like daddy home. You know, you guys have seen a lot of the stuff on social media, like we've got daddy home so much for our girls, and that's been such a huge thing for me. And because of that, and I've portrayed that, and I've put that out there, and that's been a key benefit that this business has given my family. You know, I've had so many conversations with other mums around that. Do you know what I mean? So you're only going to be able to have the kind of conversations with people, you know, of what you're putting out there. Like, people aren't just going to drop into your lap and start conversations, go, oh, this is perfect. Like, you need to be putting the information out there to be attracting those conversations. I hope that kind of makes sense. I know it was a little bit all over the place, but, you know, it's really, you know, what's possible with this business is really going to depend on what you're putting out there. And it's not the facts and figures. It's actually about the kind of the freedom, the opportunities, the choices that you're showing that you're living because of this business. So did you want to add anything to that, Kim?
No, I loved it. That was awesome. Thank you. That was really cool. I'm really loving this training. I hope you guys are getting a lot of value out of it tonight. But I did want to call on, this wasn't planned, Samantha Trigg. Can you turn your video on? The beautiful Sam is sharing in our later Team Coconuts call. However, Sam, if this is okay, I did want to, because, you know, we talk about what are the high-paying activities, what to do with our time, why we're doing it, find the passion, what are we sharing to attract people in. Now, Sam works full-time and she works ridiculous hours. She works more than 40 hours a week, and she's a carer. She works with special needs kids from memory. And, yep, and it's full-on. Imagine that emotionally. Sam is so inspiring. I freaking love this girl. Sam, can you just share what is your non-negotiables for, you know, making your schedule? How do you make your schedule work so strictly, and where you spend most of your time, if that's okay?
Yeah, I'm really nervous, but I mean, I'm here.
There we go. All right.
I mean, I'm very strict with, I write a weekly kind of to do each day. So like every Monday is my talking to people, you know, reaching out to people, following up, making those connections, because I really, I know you don't like the word struggle, but I always struggled with talking to new people, and I just found that every Monday was a perfect opportunity to be like, oh, how was your weekend? Haven't spoken ages. So I made that that was my way in to break down with my excuse to not know how to talk to people. I guess for some people that's such an easy thing, but I really only have such a small closed friend group, and I didn't know how to kind of reach out to new people. So that was my way of doing that. And I just became really strict with it, to the point where I said, okay, well, team training's at 6. I'm home by 4:30. So from 5:30 to 6, I will use that time every single Monday to reach out. And then, you know, I only did that until I worked out how much time I wanted to spend on the business, which is now a lot more time than what I originally started. But I'm able to do that because I am so strict with my weekly planner, I guess, my weekly DMO. And yeah, I just thought, well, there's no excuse not to, if you don't have a ton of time to talk to people, like I don't, and I just, like you were saying before, I get the conversation going, and the minute Juice Plus comes up, I'll say, look, would it be okay if I just sent you a video link or tagged you on a video link? And I think that we are so lucky to have, I don't know about Naomi's team, but Kim, we've got all your amazing videos that it's just so easy. You don't have to talk for days or hours, or it's just there. You just have to get the conversation there to get it to your pages. Yeah.
I love
bit raveling
that. No, this is great. And the reason can you share the thing, I think this is so powerful, and it can kind of tie up everything that we've just been talking about. Remember the thing when we were voice messaging, I was like, you have to say this on team training about time. And it fits so well in you guys having a schedule, no matter whether it's to the minute or it's just non-negotiables before you go to sleep, whenever you do it. So can you just explain what was the pivoting moment, like that thought that you had that's literally like motivated and inspired you to work hard every day?
I can't remember.
I can kind of remember.
It was the quote thing that I said?
Yeah. It was the quote.
Okay, so I seen a quote. I don't remember. I can't remember who it's from, but it pretty much just said, we don't do this because we have time. We do it because we want time. So you have to put that, I have to put that time in if I want time. I don't want to work every day, but not doing what I could be doing every day is not going to get me there. I have to put in time. So I made that time. I found that half an hour before to do my follow-ups. I found that time to go through my virtual office, so I knew exactly what to do when I was there. And I just, that's what really got me going, was that, I know I don't have a lot of time, but I want time.
Yeah. Thank you. That is so powerful. I don't know if anyone else got chills, but I got chills. Thank you, Sam. That's amazing. I'll let you.
That's okay.
But now you've done your practice, you'll be fine for the next call. I love it. I just wanted Sam to end with that, because guys, like how many of you guys related to what she just said? I think it's epic. Like when it comes down to it, we can either spend time focusing on what's making us feel like we're struggling, what the obstacles are, or we can just take a deep breath, let it all go. All right, what's the action I can take? We literally have 3 jobs. We share the product, we share the business, and we teach people how to do the same. That's all we do. We have different ways of doing it, but that's when it comes down to it, it's 3 things: share the product, share the business, teach someone to do the same. Right? However you can get those things done, and make it a priority, because at the end of the day, like, you don't have to, and I love this, like, your business, whatever you want to do is up to you. If I choose to work 10 hours a day and you choose to work 1 hour a day, that's totally cool. That is the beauty of this business. But if you want more, then you do need to sacrifice more time. You might need to sacrifice, you know what, I can't spend 2 hours this weekend with my friend catch up. I can do an hour. And I got really, really good at this. And you know what? It sucked at the start because I felt like I wasn't seeing my friends as much and my family. But the thing is, I did that for like 12 months. Felt like I didn't even know what was going on. Then had more time. This business allowed me to ditch the job, to have more time to spend with the family, and realize that like nothing had changed anyway. Do you know what I mean? So, like if you have to stay up, I want to be really honest with you guys with what I'm doing. I kind of think, I don't know if this is off topic, but like I really want to have massive growth before I go to Canada. I'm working every single night. Like Daniel has even said, like I'm having like monthly breakdowns because I work so much, and then there's a day where I just like feel like I've been hit by a bus and I have a sook and I legit cry. I did it on Thursday when I fully had a cry. And I wake up first thing in the morning. I work all day in between lifestyle and whatnot. And then I come home and I still work every night. Like tonight, I won't get to bed till probably 9 o'clock. And then I have an hour before I fall asleep. Like we'll get off calls and just talking at 9 o'clock. And I do that because I know I want to make a big impact and hit my goals. And if it means I've got to work hard, I've got to work hard. Does that make sense? I just wanted to share that with you guys because do you know what I mean? I just want to help you guys as much as I can. But we've got 2 minutes. Naomi, did you want to wrap up with anything?
I really, if we've got 2 minutes, I just really wanted to shout out, because this is our last team training for July.
Yes,
do some team recognition really quickly. And I don't know who's on the call or not, because I can only see a couple of you at a time. But okay, so we have had, and this is for Team Pina Colada, and Tim can, you know, fill in the coconut side of things. But we've had 4 brand new DVF promotions this month. We've got Annalise, Amber, Michelle, and Jason. So massive round of applause to you guys. Awesome start, strong start to the business. We've had 5 new SDVF promotions this month. We've got Beck, Crystal, so proud of you guys. Sam O'Brien, Marlena, and Georgia. Like, you guys are absolutely on fire. Oh my gosh, like, Kaz, your team is insane at the moment. And we've had 2 new SCs this month, Neil and Rochelle. I am so excited to see what you guys are creating. And I just wanted to share that, you know, what the team's been doing in July. And yeah, very, very, very exciting. Yay! So huge congrats, guys.
Yay, well done. So like, we planned to do this and I like totally forgot. Thank you, that's so amazing. And before this cuts us off, guys, massive shout out for everyone else in the Coconut crew. I know we've had an influx of new teams, but we had Colleen hit SDVF, which is so amazing. We had Nikki hit DVF. I'm just going through names through her. Nikki got DVF and she's like halfway to SDVF. She's only been in the business like a few weeks. So amazing. We had the beautiful Ree hit her DVF. She got like 6 customer orders on the first event. Amazing, amazing. And Hannah, who hit SC, top commission level. Woohoo! And Sam, I think your new team is about to hit DVF to finish the month, which I think is really, really exciting. Yeah. And I may have forgotten some. I feel like I've forgotten someone. But anyway, congratulations, everyone is about to cut out. But you guys are all amazing, and I hope you took a lot of value from today's call. Mwah. Love you all. Go have fun. Finish your end of month strong. All right. It hasn't cut out yet. Cool. I'm gonna shut it down. All right. See you.